that this smells amazing and this is a must-try recipe. काफी कम बने हैं अपने और लोग बहुत ज़्यादा हैं. So unfortunately, not everybody would be able to taste it, but we have somebody very special. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I want them to try it home and create that.
Of course. So अभी मैं stage पे बुलाना चाहूँगी just for a very short introduction of hers, and she is none other than nutritionist Jyotsna Mahapatra. I'll request ma'am to please join us on the stage. And there was a small thing that Abhinash began with, ma'am, when he said that we are starting off with mustard oil. So he basically used Freedom's mustard oil, and I think you have something in mind that you'd like to discuss with Abhinash.
Yes.
Yes, Abhinash, it was a great preparation actually.
Check.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So, though I am a vegetarian, but I enjoyed the recipe.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, you started it with mustard oil, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Mustard oil have a great, health benefits.
Yes.
We in Odia homes and in all culinary, practices, we generally use mustard oil as our cooking oil.
Yes.
It overcomes all the other oils
Yes.
as well. So mustard oil, I will say just two good things about mustard oil. That it has a good amount of essential fatty acids.
Yes.
Okay. The fatty acids which are very essential for our health to maintain a good cholesterol level, and mustard oil have two great essential fatty acids, that is linoleic acid and linolenic acid. So both are in a good proportion, in a considerate proportion, that makes our heart stay good, stay healthy. We will be free from any cardiac issues if we regularly use mustard oil. And mustard oil is a very good, rather from culinary practices, it has also other good properties. But basically, if we think of cooking, in our Odia family, from starting from moody mixture, paga to our pakhala paga, everywhere we use mustard oil. So, and the non-vegetarian also can relate to the mutton dishes or any other non-vegetarian dishes. So, and the another thing of mustard oil is it maintains our cholesterol level. It maintains our bad fat, the bad fat which should like triglyceride, that should not increase, and it maintains the fat level. It has saturated fat of below 7%, which makes it good for our health. And this is not like that we will not take fat in in no amount, but mustard oil is such a thing that our required amount of fat, we get the required amount of fat from this, from using this. And if we think of different types of recipes like deep fried recipes and the other packaged recipes, and those contain maximum amount of fat, more than the regularly needed fat amount of fat. So if we use mustard oil for deep frying the things also, and we will take limited amount of foods. I am not saying that you take deep fried things with mustard. You deep fry things with mustard oil and take it regularly, but this is not the right thing. But if we limit our foods to to a certain amount, and mustard oil should be a priority, then we can avoid the diseases like heart disease, high blood pressure, and the cholesterol related diseases. We will be free from that. So that is a very good, very important thing I just wanted to share with you, that we should promote using mustard oil in our households. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I think to round it off, mustard oil we have been using it for quite long time, and the one thing that makes regional cuisine regional is eating of local oils from whatever locally available, and mustard is quite heavily available and used in the state. So
one thing, we should always go for cold press oil.
Yes, cold press oil.
Instead of getting refined oil, we should go for cold press oil, for which the nutrients which are present in the oil seeds, they remain their qualities actually. And when it is when heat is given through the refining process, the loss of nutrient happen in certain amount. But if we go for cold press oil, we can get the whole benefit. Okay, so cold press oil is better than refined oil, I think.
Going back to roots, basically, learning from
Kachi Ghani Soris.
Kachi Ghani Sorisatala. Thank you so much for letting everyone know the benefits of mustard oil, and I would also encourage to use local produce oil, cold pressed oil. For us it is mustard oil. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes,
Yeah. So for the next recipe, keton ko bhuji khaya badhiya lage? How many of you love bhuji? And those who are town dwellers living in modern cities, gar bhuji ro alga hi maja. Se jo patra re se jo badi reki jauthibe tar alga hi maja. So recreating those memories, and I've been also staying outside for quite long time, so I miss ga. So inspired by that is the next recipe, which is khiri, and bringing the nostalgia of khiri. So मोर मन अच्छी पिला दिन आमर सब बेले चाउल खीरी उपरे बूंदी या फिर जिलापी या फिर रसगुल्ला पके की दियंती. तो that time I was always like खीरी तो इतना बोले ता ऊपर कहीं एटा पकोचुंदी. But now I understand कि how beautiful that was, and from that this is inspired. जोथरे कि आमे गोटे एलिमेंट बनेबा and सेटा होची चाउल खीरी, but तार टिके variation रहबो. I have used black rice, which is again very indigenous to Odisha, and yaro flavors and color is very beautiful. So जो मने black rice try करना आंती ताकू निजरो life रे टिके add करंतु in form of खिचड़ी, खीरी, even beautiful salads जदि pop करके खाई पाले. So using that I will be making a black rice mousse, and ता सहित हमारा traditional मीठा and पिठा को integrate करके this is the dish. Start करियो with the pan again. I will call the experts to switch it on. तांगर magical touch बिना ऐसे induction start हुए नहीं. So yeah, the pan is there. Here. So usually हमारो जो caramelize करो हमारो टिके चीनी को घी से तो add करके we let it brown a bit, and then we add normal चावल हमारो अन्नपूर्णा चावल हो या फिर normal चावल जोटा use होची. एट हमें सेटा करीबानी. We'll just add घी and then toast our black rice. Usually I would recommend कि आपको टिके ground कर देले जल्दी cook हो जाए, because black rice usually takes little longer time to cook. Because मैं already got a batch बने दीजिए, I'm just showing the process. I would need a spatula. So lightly toast कर ले जो earthy smell अच्छी black rice, so that will also come out, and it will give you a toasty smell to the khiri. The end result will be nice and nutty. Then I will add cream. I cream add करची because I want to make a mousse. So take a cream because आमे बेसे इटा रनी पतला खीरी करीबानी. जदि आपण एटा घरे बनउचुंदी, this is the time you pressure cook. First, after toasting it, just add a little bit of water and pressure cook, then add the milk. Jeta rice stuff complete cook hai, then you add the milk. So I have added here. This will take me 1 hour to completely cook in an open pan. So what I have done, let me add this in the cardamom, which is the very important element of Odia khiri, and then you let it cook and make a fine paste. So jete bhi liquid अच्छी आ रहा, you let it dry and make a very thick. जिंती हमारे खिचड़ी था, रनी खिचड़ी, सिम्ती consistency दरकार, and then you blend it, ताकि fine paste कर देवे. This is spoon. So you need to make this paste. The color टा भी देखिए, it's little purple, which is normal characteristic of black rice. And either kichi sweetness upon the pardon, if you have noticed, that sweetness will come from the caramelized white chocolate. So एटा को मु कौन करछि normal baking sheet रे ताको spread करके I have baked it in 180 degree for 5 to 10 minutes just to give this brown color. ठीक है तो एटा को मु खीरी सहित blend करिवे which will give you the sweetness and also the creaminess and the nuttiness, extra nuttiness what add karibo, and it will also help to set with the cream जोटा कि हम whipping cream सहित fold कला बेले it will help to set आमु किसी gelatin या फिर अगर अगर दरकार पड़ियोनी to set it जोटा कि usually केबे भी mousse बना हुए तो सही तरह add करा हुए. So this was basically the खीरी, simple खीरी. ताकू खाली मु गोटे process add करची is I have blended it and added chocolate, white chocolate instead of sugar. आपण यदि घरे try करिवे तो normal चीनी रे भी try कर परिवे. So now coming to plating, which is straightforward dish. So एटा जेते भी सब हमर मिठा थिला एटा क्लियर कर दो ठीक the pan, put the pan. So जेते भी ओडिसा रो मिठा थिला, so I bought everything. जदि खीरी रे खाली बूंदी पड़ुतला एते मजा आछि, why not to bring the whole family of sweet and get it onto the dish. So सेइथ पे the array of Odia desserts, it will give you a different texture, a different color, and a fun playfulness to the dish. Chena podo. So I've got Mogaji Ladu also, which has got this GI tag. ताको टिके भांगी की scramble करके. You can see alga texture, so you'll get a different texture in each bite. So fun. Kakara with the hand. So my berries to give the color contrast, and the bite the sourness of the berries will cut the sweetness, and the next bite will be a different flavor again. See it. Blueberry. This raspberry compote basically berries को sugar से तो अल्प टिके cook हेची and nothing else. So now our hero of the dish, जोटा कि खीरी थिला इटा, यास तो whipping cream को बस fold करची to lighten up. Flavor of खीरी, the cardamom, the earthiness of black rice, but lightened up to make a modern dessert. So, ठीक है बड़ा कट करियो, bigger cut, और थोड़ा नीचे, हाँ, yeah. So basically, जेते सब element थिला, ताको हमें hide कर देले. From जागो हमें serve करचुंदी, it's a surprise for them. So they don't know what's coming for them, and they will great treasure hunt for it. Every bite they'll get a new flavor. So that's the idea. Every सब जाको dessert, सब जाको मीठा हमारा तोड़ा अच्छी, and then the rice on top. Okay, last pistachio crumble. Just to give the contrast, nothing else. And सब जिनिस को टिके फुला दरकार सजाया पे so edible flowers. Use the teaser. Yeah. And thus our khiri inspired by bhoji. So this is the final dish. Thank you. Clear. Yeah, any questions I would love to take if you have time. Yeah? You wanna try? Yeah, come. I don't know how many, yeah, one of you can come. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. I'll give you spoons. Yeah, how's that? The dessert or the soup or what, which one you want first? Yeah. Okay. So break everything, you eat it with the crab. Yeah. Yes. Photo nahi eat lo? Good?
Sure.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to quickly ask everybody for the libu. So she's still enjoying it. You know? How did you like it?
It's a very different take. It has Odia flavors and it has Thai fusion and
Yeah.
this is seafood with lemongrass and a lot of flavors. It's a flavor bomb.
Amazing, amazing. And I think, Komal ma'am, you tasted the khiri, bhoji khiri. How did you like it?
Thank
It's
you.
lovely, actually. I had never thought that it would taste so great. Even the hidden parts are also very tasty.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Give me the spoon.
Thank you so much. I'll request all of you to please give him a huge round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we'd also like to thank and congratulate Abhinash's family. They're here.
yeah,
So I'll request
okay.
all of you, एक जोरदार ताली उनके लिए भी होनी चाहिए. I'm absolutely proud family members and proud parents. Thank you so much, Aji Asiya bhai. And बस मैम को टिके क्विकली पचेरो चाहिए टाइम बहुत कम अच्छी बट पचेरो चाहिए केपे यांकर रोसे रे आपण खोड़ा बाहर करंती ना नहीं बाहर करी परंती नहीं एमती के
She's trying to be too nice. I have spent good time with my mom. Jeta mu actually cooking start kortile and I was experimenting. She was with me in Hyderabad. So my compared to father, my mother has tasted mane adhika khai hua, yeah. But yeah.
So basically, who is critical of your cooking? Uncle basically critical na auntie?
They're quite nice and appreciate whatever I do.
I am
but
sure.
yeah. And take it as a, like I'm doing good, that's it.
Obviously. No, of course, they're very proud of you. Just pulling a leg.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Aji Asiya bhai, and for making us, like fortunate enough to be meeting this genius's parents. We are so happy to have you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Please be seated. Thank you, Abhinash. You were
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you.
And I'll make sure that this reaches to everybody possible so that, thoda sa bite hum sab le le. I think it was fantastic. Thank you so much, Abhinash.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for being patient and being such a great audience. And I would request everyone, no matter wherever you are, which part of the world you are, just take our cuisine and culture and present it proudly without thinking कि हमें ओडिशा रो इम्ति ही पर इम्ति. Just be yourself and be proud for who we are. That's it. Thank you.
Absolutely. So Avinash, you started with Jai Jagannath, all through to Jai
Yeah,
Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath, everyone.
Jai Jagannath. Thank you so much.
so
Thank you, Avinash. And now I'd like to welcome nutritionist Jyotsna Mahapatra. I'll request her to please join us on the stage. And I'd also like to request Mr. Harsh from Freedom Oil, if he's here with us. I'll request her to please join us on the stage to thank and felicitate Jyotsna Mahapatra, ma'am, for enlightening us about the nutritional value of mustard oil. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much, Mr. Hirsch, for joining us today and for the great support that Freedom Oil has given us today for this wonderful food conclave, the EASTEYE Food Conclave 2024. And now to felicitate our guest who is here, I'd like to request the founders of EASTEYE. Can I please have Mr. Chandan Rath and Ms. Ashwati Patnaik to please join us on the stage. Mr. Chandan Rath and Ms. Ashwati Patnaik. And may I now request and invite our guest for the day, Ms. Nayak Patnaik, Executive Director, Sambad Group, to kindly join us on the stage. So that was the founders of EASTEYE Food Conclave, extending a small token of love to our guest. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time to welcome the star of the show, the personality that we all have been waiting for, anxiously to hear from him, to see him, and watch him perform the skills that we've always watched him do on the big screen. We are absolutely honored to have him here, and we'll be announcing his presence in just a few seconds. So I'll request all of you to please take a bit and get ready to welcome none other than the star chef Ranveer Brar in just a minute from now. Thank you.
Abhinash କରିବା କେବେ ହଁ ତାହେଲେ
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome on stage Ms. Preeti Pallavi Patnaik and Ms. Nayak Patnaik from INVEC on the stage. We would like to extend a small token of love and appreciation to our very own Master Chef Abhinash Nayak. We have Ms. Preeti Pallavi Patnaik and Ms. Nayak Patnaik also joining us on the stage. And there we have the Master Chef Abhinash Nayak. A small token of appreciation from INVEC for you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And can I please request the founders of EASTEYE to join us on the stage? I'll request the founders of EASTEYE. All right then. I'd request all of you to please be seated for now. We'll be now introducing Chef Ranveer Brar, and we'll be having you on stage shortly after this. Thank you, Abhinash, for joining us once again. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment is here where we finally announce and welcome the star of the show. Like I just said, it is undoubtedly the one that we all have been waiting to see. So I just want to make sure it is not just me who is excited to have him here, is it? नहीं ना? अगर आप सब excited हैं तो थोड़ा सा शोर मचाएं. Are we ready for him? If you are, then so am I. So I'd like to quickly give you a brief introduction of Mr. Brar. So it is an absolute honor to be introducing him in front of all of you. Ranveer Singh Brar is an Indian celebrity chef, Master Chef India judge, author, restaurateur and actor. He is well known as the host of popular television food shows and as judge in Master Chef India seasons 4, 6, 7 and 8 alongside his fellow chefs. He is an honorary member at the James Beard Foundation and recognized by the same for his culinary contribution. He has received recognition for his contribution to various cuisines by several institutions such as AIWF, AICA, as also the mayor of Boston. So I think the name needs no further introduction. I can go on and on for the entire evening, but I'd rather not waste time in doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the absolute culinary genius, none other than the star chef, the celebrity chef, Ranveer Brar in the house. Everybody, please put your hands together for him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I request all of you to please keep applauding for the celebrity himself, Mr. Ranveer Brar.
The mic is working. Jai Jagannath, everybody. Very, very happy to be here. Yeah.
All right. I cannot tell you how much everybody has been waiting to hear from you, Mr. Brar, but before we just say the magical words that the stage is all yours, I'd like to request the founders of EASTEYE, Dr. Upashna, Mr. Rath and Ms. Patnaik to please join us on the stage. The founders of EASTEYE shall be felicitating Mr. Ranveer Brar, and that is how the master session with the celebrity chef shall begin. Well, तालियां बजती रहनी चाहिए. I'm pretty sure we all have been waiting for this moment when we see our favorite chef up there on the stage, and this is the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Let's show him all the love that Odisha has got for him. Everybody, please put your hands together for him once again.
Beautiful. Amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And that's not all. We'll make sure that your hands are absolutely full, Mr. Brar.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank the founders of EASTEYE for doing the honors. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I request all of you to kindly be seated. The master session with the celebrity chef, the star of the show today of EASTEYE Food Conclave 2024 is finally here, and I'd like to request Mr. Ranveer Brar to kindly take over.
Yeah, you will have to give me 2 minutes. I'm just going to quickly have a look at the setup and then start. Second dish. How's everybody doing? Okay, so how are you, sir? Very good to see you. The whole family is here. Abhinash. Hello everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So, a broad agenda I'm sure everybody knows, but I'm going to quickly go behind the kitchen. And I'm going to do 2 really quick dishes. Yeah, I'm not here to teach anybody Odia cuisine. But the idea is through the dishes, the thought is more to be able to see how we can extend the conversation about every dish. तो जो दो डिशेस मैंने चूज करी, एक डिश जो है वो है मूढ़ी मांस. I think that's the Odia pride, na? Everybody's like, yeah. So for me, I took that as an inspiration because it is just the whole idea of rice and meat together and how you sort of take it to different places. Just replace the rice with a moody, and also the fact that somebody then thought कि यार चलो अगर चावल कम खाना है तो एक काम करो, it will look like a lot, but then I get to eat more meat than actually I get to eat rice. I found it very ingenious, very interesting, the whole combination of moody and manso. And also, moody is a pan-Indian phenomenon, but it's just the way they do it. How are you? So the way they do it in the Mayurpanch area, the beauty and the detail that they put behind it, I just thought that's a conversation that needs to be brought forward. After a point in time, cooking isn't just about bringing out recipes, it's also about bringing out conversations, cultural relationships, stories that need to be sort of spoken about. And the second dish is the all-famous chenapo, right? so we'll quickly run through that, and then after that we will have a longish chat and open for questions as well. So this whole I think and Abhinash here has been kind enough to say, nahi, if we are using moody, then it has to be the original moody. So we've been very lucky to get the right mutton and the right moody. For me, just the fattiness of the mutton and the way it interacts with the moody is such an essential part of the moody manso experience. Obviously, we will not cook the mutton here. I'm a cook, not a magician. And definitely not the kind of magician who says that that things should be cooked fast, not slow. I always say things should be cooked slow, not fast. Okay. So we have some lamb that is pre-cooked. I'm just going to quickly put the lamb my way. Classically, whatever I have seen whenever I've had it, the lamb sort of cooked separately where all the juices and the fat comes together, and then it is put back into the tempering. I'm just going to put it all together. If I'm a little slow, it is because of this huge bhog that the prasad that I've had, which is still talking to my senses. I almost passed out for 7 minutes. So I will get back to my senses in due course of time. I think every time, and we will, I'm sort of not speaking a lot right now because there's a half an hour, 45-minute talk that is planned after this. So a lot about my thoughts about Odia cuisine in general, broadly, will come through then. But I think what I absolutely am inspired by is, I always say that India is it's like a pudding, right? And you can slice it many ways. You can slice it culturally, geographically, demographically, topographically, religiously, however you want to slice it. And I think Odisha, for that matter, is a very small microcosm of India. You know, from the coast, if you come inward, you can just slice it geographically. You can slice it topographically, any way that you want. And that's what makes it really, really beautiful. Culturally, you can take it, the tribal route, you can take it, you know, any route that you'd like. So that for me is always inspiring when I sort of come. Nothing that I'm doing here is magic to any of you, so I'm not even explaining it. I'm just sort of trying to have fun. तड़का लगाने में मुझे नहीं लगता अभी सिखाने की जरूरत है किसी को. But what I have generally tried to do, a wooden spatula. What I've generally tried to sort of do is, even in my cooking, I honestly believe that with bone is always better than boneless. So even if you have to make it boneless, cook it with bone and then take the bone off. So that's what I'm going to do here as well. I need it to be boneless, but I'm going to cook it with bone. Turmeric. Wrong pot, don't learn the wrong things. Wrong pot. So normally, talking about cooking mutton, even if I'm cooking keema, right, I usually try and put a few bone pieces in it. Even if it's just boiling it, braising it, because the flavor of the marrow automatically gets extracted into the keema. So even when you're cooking bhuna keema or whatever mince that you're cooking, it's always better to get a few bones from a butcher and just drop them in. It just leaches out flavor better. पॉट होना चाहिए ना इसमें क्या पता है Has this got a GI tag yet? No. You know, that's what I love about Odisha. There's this GI tag race. Like before something like that ever happens again, let's just get GI tag. But this is one such dish for me. It should, this combination by itself is so unique. The moody should, the moody should definitely get a GI tag. So when I trained with the Taj, right? So my trick, whenever I stand and cook in a live counter and I put chilies and I start coughing, it was my trick to tell people that the party is over. When I was training, they used to put me on the live counter to make pastas, right? So when I had enough, it was 1:30, 2 o'clock in the night. On the pasta counter, I just put a lot of oil, just put a lot of fresh chilies. Everybody would start coughing. Party is over. So that's the poor trainee's way of saying I need to go home. Next time you're at a party and you see something like this happening. Again, this should have been a pot, my apologies. Braising stock, braising pot, definitely not this. An ideal way to do it, if I had to do it, I would pressure cook the mutton separately. Really nicely, because here in this case, I definitely want to overcook it, because I'm going to pull it later. And then, so what we've done is, the party is not over. ये वीडियो लो, सब लोग खास रहे हैं. खास लो आप लोग पहले. See इतनी जल्दी बोल दूंगा तो फायदा क्या होगा? No, the good thing is that it happens to all of us at home. जब हम कुछ बना रहे होते हैं, मिर्च ज्यादा पड़ जाती है. Everybody sort of coughing, and then we like, you guys can't tolerate chili or what? The worst that can happen is you start coughing yourself after that. है ना? Once you said that, then everybody has to hold on. Now, अब आपने इसको प्रेस्टीज इशू बना लिया, अब आप नहीं खा सकते. होता है किसके साथ हुआ है? ये अभी मेरी वही वाली सिचुएशन है, खांसी आ रही है. So what we've done, we've taken this beautiful piece of art, खोल दे भाई, दरवाजे खोल दे यार. मैं अटक चुका, अब मैं खांस भी नहीं सकता. So we've taken this beautiful moody and we've made these discs out of it. This is just sugar, a little bit of black pepper, and the moody, and a little bit of salt, right? Yeah, and the prasad that we had today morning, what was khoi? What is it? Khoi. Khoi. What is this bit called? It's so. No. The prasad, the kora khoi is the whole thing, or just the khoi is the whole thing? So yeah, so I think it's basically what I've picked up from there is the black pepper. That always sort of goes well. Another combination, ajwain, that's something that I learned today. Black pepper, ajwain and jaggery. Ajwain is something I'm going to try next time. But the first thing that you learn when you are in Odisha is how sweet is never fully sweet and savory is never fully savory, right? How there's this beautiful intermarriage of you either using a little bit of spice so that it doesn't become too sweet, or using a little bit of sweetness when you make the savory bits. So the thought was we just build that forward. And what we've done is we've taken the mansa that's cooked and then we've deboned it, removed the gravy, and I'm just going to reconstitute that again. It's overheated, so we'll have to wait. Ladle. Oh, come on, now there's nothing in this too. अब तो मत खासो यार. The only thing that I'd change is any time, and this is more technical stuff for people who are into cooking, but any time you're cooking something in a broth and you're removing it, चाहे उसको pull करने के लिए हटा रहे हैं, the high chances are it'll dry out. You always have to leave it soaked in stock. So if I had another chance, I'd leave this soaked in stock because it dries out much faster. देखिए इसके बाद डिजर्ट है, ठीक है, किसी को खांसना नहीं पड़ेगा, ये बता दिया मैंने, वरना आप खांसते रहते और आप कहते रणवीर आपने बताया, ठीक. We can remove this and make way for plating. इसका all right, so just the mansa that's pulled, Here I have a little bit of, so that you don't miss the richness, a little bit of hung yogurt or sour cream. कोरिएंडर स्प्रिग्स है क्या उधर गार्निश में? नहीं है तो कोई बात नहीं. A little bit of pepper, cinnamon, black cardamom powder. Ideally मेरा प्रिय मित्र धनिया होता गार्निश में, बट कोई बात नहीं. So I think more than the dish, and this is what we will talk about in detail when we have a chat. But more than the dish, the place where it has come from, people should feel you've done respect to it. Today we talk about modernization. We talk about a lot of saying how do you take your cuisine forward and how do you push it to people who don't understand that cuisine. I think the only line that you draw is it cooked the way it is supposed to be cooked? Has justice been done to the way it is supposed to be cooked? Does it use combinations that have that work? Does it use a little bit of sweetness because there is a certain connotation of a little bit of sweetness? And today somebody was talking about kanika bhat and kosa mangso. Right? That sweet rice and mutton, does that have a connotation, combination? Why would you want to just put some sweet rice and put mutton on top? I think the only line that I draw when I put things together after so many years of cooking is the place and the people that you're trying to represent should feel that you've been able to deliver a certain message. That's the primary line. And with the objective of showing a dish that is so, I call it sort of every man's dish, right? To be able to bring it into a bite size without losing its essence, keeping that boundary intact, that was the thought. कि कहीं भी किसी को ये फील ना हो कि यार ये तो बेइज्जती हो गई. That primarily is it. Yeah? Thank you very much. No, I need मूस मेरे को वो चाहिए ना. अच्छा क्वेनल बना के रख दिया क्या? हाँ नहीं, बट मैं कलर वो सैफरन वगैरह मैच नहीं होगा ना ऐसे. वो दे दो मेरे को. बोला हाँ. I think another dish that all of us want to talk about, every chef wants to sort of work with, is the chena podo, right? And I was recently in Europe, as in Spain and Finland, and the hot new thing in Europe is something called the Basque cheesecake, right? And I looked at it and I looked at the madness for it and I'm like, but this is Chenapolo. Right? I mean, that's exactly, a Basque cheesecake is a cheesecake that's nicely burnt from outside. It's slightly more creamier, but then typically what you're chasing in that dish is this whole idea of burnt cheese from outside. I'm like, wow. You know, that's when I thought that I'm going to, इनको दिखाता हूँ मैं बना के, you know, and this dish was conceptualized then. Yeah, I'm going to quickly assemble and put it together. मेरे को प्लेट चाहिए होगी, खाली प्लेट. For those who don't know, please Google it and your reaction is going to be the same. If you see the picture, your reaction is going to be the same as mine. देखा सबने? है ना? बेवकूफ बना रहे ना वो? So for me, the most beautiful essence of the Chenapolo is the leaf and what it adds, right? A lot of times you bake it in the oven and you do whatever you do with it, it's never the same till the smokiness of the sal leaf comes into it, till the whole dish comes together. And so any representation of a Chenapolo, it's impossible to not, I need a tissue, not put the leaf, right? So we had to do it. Thank you. This is another amazing, beautiful citrus. What do you call it? No. Where's... Kandya. एक मेरे को ग्रेटर भी चाहिए, हाँ, इसका जेस्ट निकालने के लिए. कांदिया, राइट? इधर भी अभी डिबेट चल रहा है तो मैंने क्लियर कर लिया. So what I tried to do is I sort of the only thing that you'd in a Basque cheesecake, the only thing that they would say that they have is that slight bit of creaminess that the cheese adds. So I thought, we can definitely compensate it our way. So I did a mousse. Yeah, so I did a mousse with the zest of kanya, a little bit of juice, so like a citrus mousse, to bring in that whole sour cream freshness into place with the creaminess. And then there's one with saffron, one without saffron. Magaji, right? Magaji laddu, Magaji. Another, I think another, this also got a GI tag, no? Another representation of the beautiful. It's like, of course. Another, I think another representation of the chena from other part of Odisha that needs to sort of come into the conversation. And hence, you would want to drop a few. Crush paper है क्या? Some berries. No, just the black pepper. And just to finish the dish, we're going to just take a little bit more sal. And just let it smoke for a little bit. Abhi, being an Odia, do you feel the dish is, the essence of the dish is represented? That's the only line you basically draw. You feel good about it being an Odia, you don't feel good about it being an Odia. So whenever you take, and we'll talk about it again, मैं ज़्यादा अभी नहीं बोल रहा, but ये करना पड़ता है ना, to take your food to places it hasn't traveled. What is the line you draw? That bit is really, really important. And a little bit of pepper if it gets too sweet. Yeah? This is the photo op that all of us have to do, so I do it. इसको उसको लेने ही ले लो भाई.
Check.
Yeah. Good, thank you very much. Actually, this is a good one. Huh? Let me send it to my friends in Spain. I am ready. Oh,
Check. I'm so
Maza aaya?
tempted.
Maza aaya. Simple. For this bit was more for the cooks, right? कि अच्छा ये भी कर सकते हैं, अच्छा ये भी कर सकते हैं. The next bit of conversation is more generic. It's more for the restaurateurs and us, the marketeers and us. This was more for the cooks because a lot of times on shows like MasterChef, we see, and this is not how you'd see me cooking on YouTube, right? I mean, if it were on YouTube, I'd cook the original Muri Mansa like it's supposed to be, right? But a lot of times you sort of want to connect to people who don't have a connection to that, right? And a lot of times as chefs, or when we go to a MasterChef or whatever, we over-try and over-please people by crossing more into their territory than ours. I'm saying the idea of putting this across was you can be in your own territory. You can be completely about you, yourself, and the pride in yourself without losing the essence of what you put in a plate. Just because it looks different does not mean the construction should be disrespectful. That's all. That is the basic objective of the workshop. I think Odia cuisine at this point in time, not just me, all of us, all of us chefs realize. I think right now it is the time for Odia cuisine to sort of spread its wings and fly. It needs to find these. It needs to find these small windows of expression, as I'd like to call them, right? But the expression has to be honest, faithful, happy, humble, real, like the Odia culture. That's all. Yeah.
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, I request for a louder round of applause for Chef Ranveer Brar. Chef, I have one question. So the dish looks too tempting for me to even go anywhere near it. We would love it, and why not? I've always said that I think...
Very kind of you, mat karo yaar, abhi main... Thank you, very kind of you, I really appreciate it. आपका बड़प्पन दिखाता है, आपका खड़ा होना आपका बड़प्पन दिखाता है. I am a nobody. Thank you, very kind of you.
But I think this explains the respect that we as Odias have for the love you have for we Odias and the cuisines. I think you made Chena Poda all the more authentic. इससे ज़्यादा authentic Chena Poda कभी था ही नहीं. एक जोरदार ताली एक बार फिर से Chef Brar के लिए. अब ये तो हो गया, but now it's time to have some deep, intimate and some fun conversation with Mr. Brar, and to do that I'd like to request Executive Director of Sambal Group, can you please have Ms. Nayak Patnaik on the stage for the rendezvous session with Chef Ranveer Brar. Okay, also I had a question by the time Tanaya is on the stage. Chef, does it feel cruel when somebody, kind of just slices through the wonderful plating and takes the first bite? Does it hurt you a little?
Not at all. Not at all. I think, I always say chefs are, all of us know the concept of the mandala, right? The Buddhist mandala, right? And the first thing that you learn as a chef is don't get too attached, right? I did not know what a mandala was, and I did not know the whole, when I was very young, 19, 20 years old, I started carving. There was a competition, I started carving. And I was practicing for months and months, making peacocks and this and that. And I used to spend all night carving. That sort of, I'll get to the answer like that. And then the chef would come in the morning and say, yeah, isko kaat ke sabzi bana le. Right? And I could never really get what he meant. In kitchen, conversations are never direct. You have to guess what it means. Unfortunately, I'm talking about mid-90s when I was learning how to cook. And then when I saw the mandala makers, that's when it struck me that as chefs, the objective of what you're doing is for it to be destroyed, don't get too attached to it. Because if you get attached to this one, what about the next one that you're going to make? Right? So as chefs, we're all mandala makers. We make the mandala and then we destroy it and then start all over again. That's the beauty of our business. Right?
Fabulous. Thank you.
सृष्टि का निर्माण नहीं कर रहे हम, प्लेट ही बना रहे हैं.
एक खत्म होगा तो दूसरा बन जाएगा. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Ms. Tanaya Patnaik and Mr. Ranveer Brar on the stage for the rendezvous session with Ranveer Brar by Ms. Tanaya Patnaik.
Everybody can see us.
A very warm afternoon to all of you present here. And I would like to give a big shout out to EASTEYE, Chandan, Upasna, Shashwati and the entire team for organizing such a wonderful conclave where the objective is the promotion of Odia cuisine, our very own cuisine, and who better than Ranveer Brar to be having a conversation with and delving into his mind about his insights, his experiences. So, you know, in Hindu Dharma, we have the Char Dhams, the 4 major pilgrimage sites, and it is said that Lord Vishnu, he took his divine bath at Rameshwaram. Then he came to Badrinath for his meditation. Then he came to Puri, Jagannath Dham, and had a wholesome, satisfying meal, and then he went to Dwarkanath for his divine sleep. So Odisha is culturally very, very significant when it comes to food, and today I'm privileged to get this opportunity to discuss about regional cuisine with Chef Ranveer. Thank you so much. It was wonderful seeing you and seeing your take on Mudhi Mansa and Chenapura. And I think that's something so important you mentioned, you know, the line between innovation and fusion. Because, you know, like say butter masala dosa or chow mein dosa is probably fusion and something, you know, probably a South Indian person might not relate to. But this was something, like you said, all of us were proud to see our cuisine being represented so well. So I would like to ask you, what is it that makes a regional cuisine acceptable and popular beyond its geographic origin?
How often it is spoken about. That is all. You know, I always go back to the point saying why did suddenly Punjabi cuisine take over as Indian cuisine? When did that happen and why did that happen? Because Punjabis are loud people, they just wouldn't stop talking about their food. Wherever they went, they just spoke about their food. Right? They went to a new country, they spoke about their food. They went to a new place, they spoke about their food. The limitations of a cuisine, of it being so it doesn't connect to a universal palate, it doesn't connect to this, all that is much, much, much later. The biggest part for popularity, is it my mic or somebody else's mic? The biggest part is how often and how loudly does it get spoken about? And how many avenues does it get to project? It's on my mic. So I think वो part जो है ना हम लोग मिस कर जाते हैं. हम लोग cuisine की merits को ये fact है, मैं chef होके बोल रहा हूँ. I'm a Punjabi and a chef, so you have to trust me on this. When I say Punjabis just went and told the world that their food is the best and the world believed them. Because they just spoke about it everywhere, they spoke about it the loudest. That is, I mean, है कि नहीं? आज भी I went to Goa and then there are more Punjabi restaurants than anybody else here. Why? Because you just shamelessly speak about it.
That's it?
That is the first and the most important step for making any cuisine accepted and popular. We should learn it. We should have learned it from the Americans way back. But yeah, that is the most important step.
So you've been exposed to the cuisine of Odisha. Today you went to the Lingaraj temple. In the evening you're going to Puri. So if you were asked to describe the flavors of Odisha to someone who hasn't ever tasted it, how would you describe Odia cuisine?
एक तो है top shelf answer, which is divine, right? That's a top shelf answer without even going further deep and thinking about it. I think divine is the right representation of Odia cuisine. But I think if I were to divine तो tagline होगी ना, अगर मेरे को नीचे 2 लाइन का descriptor डालना है तो it would probably be, it is simple, real, honest food, right? That aims at leaving a lasting impression, even if it does not wow you at the first sight. It will leave it stays with you for the rest of your life, not as a first impression, as a lasting memory. That's the big difference. First impressions can be deceitful. First impressions also are, in today's world, are plenty and everywhere. Lasting memories are difficult to find. This is the cuisine of lasting memories.
That's such a wonderful way to put it, divine and a cuisine of lasting memories. Thank you so much. We'll be using that in the future to describe our cuisine for sure. But the wow factor nahi hai, to fir how do we take it to the world? Now people are not going to give us second chances all the time. So how do we wow them and make this global?
See, honestly, I think इसका आंसर जो है ना वो ऑलरेडी बहुत सारे ग्लोबल टेम्पलेट्स में है, right? A lot of global templates in the West and even in India have been able to, first of all, it's not that there is no wow, it's the projection of wow. Wow क्या है? Wow is the projection. And I always give the example of Nordic cuisines, right? Sweden, Finland, Denmark. मतलब वो बेचारे फलों की शक्ल नहीं देखते यार महीनों महीने, right? Most of their cuisine is either sun-dried or snow-dried or semi-frozen or fermented. Look at where they bought it. The world's top 5 restaurants year on year are Nordic restaurants. I mean, Copenhagen has become the hub. They're calling Helsinki the next Copenhagen, right? So it's not that, I mean, is there anything wow about living in a place where you don't see sun for 4 months? Right? No. So that's what I'm saying. As food people, we're just poor marketeers and need to accept it. And that is why all these marketing consultants, they take so much money from us. And the point of it all is marketing comes from a sense of belief. At the same point in time, it also comes from a sense of acceptance. You cannot be fighting the battle that I'm not perfect and projecting you're perfect. Your belief that I'm perfect has to coincide with your projection that you're perfect. That, I think, when you start with saying, I don't have a wow, no. Where is my wow? I need to find that wow and project a wow is the question. I mean, what wow, for example, Karnataka की बात करता हूँ मैं, right? Karnataka projected itself as one of the most biodiverse states in India. That's the projection. As the millet capital of India, that is the projection, right? Now, you might have numbers for that projection. How many of us actually think, why are we biodiverse? Is it 1,856 species or is it 28,000 species? We don't know, right? Anyway. Huh?
I'm sorry, this is, for me now this becomes very...
Check sound. Okay. So I think it's I look at Odisha, right? India as a country has gotten more rice varieties that it thought were lost from this state than any other state. The tribals of Odisha were able to, in their own ways and means, preserve so many varieties of flora and fauna that the rest of the country thought was extinct. Which other state can boast of that? Which other state can boast of a prasadam like Jagannath Puri? Which other state can boast of having a coastline and yet going so deep inside that the cuisine changes 180 degrees? Which state can boast of having cultural roots that connect it to Southeast Asia, that connect it to down south Andhra Pradesh, that connect it to Far East, that connect it to Myanmar, that connect it to Vietnam, that connect it to Indonesia?
Which other state can boast of it? Right? It's where you, it's finding the wow. It's not believing that there is no wow. That's all. We can keep going about it. This sounds much nicer, this mic though.
So from the streets of Lucknow, where you discovered your passion for cooking and for food with the kebabs there, to being probably the most loved food celebrity in the country today, you have been through the entire rigmarole. We have a lot of food entrepreneurs here in the audience. Now, when it comes to running a restaurant, it's not as simple as cooking well and, planning a good menu or attracting just customers for the initial. What is the secret to sustainability? And what have been your learnings from the various restaurants that you have founded?
So in any food business, right, whether you're running a restaurant or a cloud kitchen or a bunch of restaurants or any food business, I think the part that makes the biggest difference is having a consumer first philosophy, right? A lot of times when food people do their own businesses, they have a very extremely strong food first philosophy, which is ये तो ऐसे ही बनता है, ये तो इसमें तो इतनी मिर्ची पड़ती है, अभी क्या करें, right? I think like I said, I have opened around 40 odd restaurants and 12 of them are closed, right? The nature of our business, you might go in fully prepared, but a restaurant is like a toss of a coin. It will either be a head or a tail and you'll never know why, right? So the nature of the business is fickle. You got to accept that. However, you can only maximize your chances of success by just keeping a few things in mind. One is going consumer first and not being extremely stuck to your food. All of us as chefs, we go around this 360 circle of life and come and understand that there is nothing called authentic, right? Authentic was, ना वो हवा authentic है, ना वो पानी authentic है, ना वो ingredients authentic है, ना वो लोग authentic हैं. 800 साल पहले, 1200 साल पहले किसी ने क्या बनाया, किसी को कुछ नहीं पता. That is our idea of authentic. If we get too stuck to authentic, we miss out on the consumer. We stop listening to the consumer. I think it's very important to either place your authentic food where the authentic consumer exists or listen to the consumer. In a food business, it's very, very important to be consumer first. We're living in a world where access is easy, competition is high, and as chefs, we get too attached. वो मंडाला वाली चीज हो जाती है. मेरी डिश है तो ऐसे ही बनेगी. You know, वैसे नहीं कर सकते आप आज की डेट में.
You're a wonderful storyteller. I think that's also what connects you to people. How important do you think is storytelling when it comes to marketing your cuisine?
It's everything. Stories are everything. I mean, what you take back, for example, what people would take back from that dish today probably is, अरे उसने साल का पत्ता जलाया और उसके ऊपर छाना पड़ा रखा. कोई ये नहीं बोलेगा उसकी रेसिपी ये थी, फिर उसने ये डाला, फिर उसने ये डाला. How does knowledge, information, what passes through generation is conversations. The books that are today were conversations at some point in time. The oral tradition of storytelling, passing down information, is the oldest and the most emotive way to pass down any piece of information. You cannot deny that, right? एक time तक तो मतलब after when Rishi Vedvyas, he also heard the Vedas and said the Vedas, no? What we hear and what we say is carried down for generations. And the best way for us to hear, say, and speak and conversation is storytelling. And that's why I personally believe a lot in the power of storytelling. I think dishes live through stories. Dishes live through conversations. Cultures live through stories. Family histories live through stories. And then if the story exists, you will find the dish. मैं हमेशा ये कहता हूँ. अगर कहानी है ना तो डिश आप ढूंढ लोगे.
In your website, you mentioned about pokhara, and you very rightly described it as humble, because even the poorest sections, the most underprivileged sections, pokhara is a part of their staple diet. But ये humble को कैसे हम popular कर सकते हैं? How can humble be more popular?
Very, very good question. So I'm so glad you asked it. Otherwise, I have to get to it. ये सबसे बड़ा challenge for Odisha. The biggest challenge is it's when you're simple and humble. How do you market simple and humble? When the basic nature is being happy and quiet and just happy in your own world, how do you market that? Right? Because that goes against the basic nature of who you are. And what you do cannot go against the basic nature of who you are. Right? Honestly, I think the only thing that you got to do, and I'm not saying stretch boundaries, but the only thing that you got to do is, humility के साथ ना, pride को भी उतनी जगह. That humility and pride has to go in together, and there's no harm being. Pride is not a negative connotation. And when pride comes in, pride finds its expression.
Pride, not arrogance.
No, definitely, you can't. Odias can't be arrogant. वो तो छोड़ ही दो, वो तो बहुत दूर की, बहुत आगे चले गए हम. अभी तो pride वाली सीढ़ी पे चढ़ रहे हैं हम लोग ऊपर. But express pride, and you will not lose your humility in expressing pride. That is all I'm saying. That's the best way to take this forward, and yet keep the core of what Odisha and Odiyas are about intact. The Odiya pride.
So,
इस चीज के लिए तालियां बजनी चाहिए, उसके लिए बजनी.
So I work in the news industry, and all the trends point towards, the next few years is going to be the era for hyper-local news, not just news restricted to cities. So is this going to be a great time for hyper-local regional cuisine as well? Is it going to explode? What do the trends say? And what is the scope for it business-wise?
Hyper-local is the new mantra, right? We saw that change a while back when people said, no, I don't want to politically define my cuisine. When Maharashtrian cuisine started giving way to Khandeshi food, Puneri food, Vidarbha food, Konkani food, you got a sense of it 10 years ago, when it wasn't just state boundaries, political boundaries that were defining cuisines. the natural progression would have been, yes, how do you create subcultures, sub-regions? And then COVID made that process much faster. You had time for more discovery, you had time for deep diving, and hence hyperlocal just became a natural extension and was put on a fast track. So it is the way to go. And and like I said, it is so good to hear conversations about नहीं वो कटक का आलू दम ऐसा होता है अरे वो तो बहुत स्पाइसी बनाते हैं हमारे भुवनेश्वर वाला खाओ we add layers to that. It's very important to find these hyper regional and that's where GI comes in. No mudi to hamari hai, no, it's GI tag. Yeah, so I think that bit hyper local, hyper regional, subcultural, detailed is the future for food, and that's why time for Odisha will come.
Time for Odisha
Has come.
already come. So just a light question before we take it to the audience. Can we please have a volunteer ready with the microphone amongst the audience? So you have the iconic maa ke haath ka khana. My mother is the best cook narrative. But then all the chefs are papas. As in, they're all men in all the restaurants. How does that work?
See, I think, no, first of all, you're breaking, that stereotype's breaking. See, what happens is, for the longest time, cooking for large people was just unnecessarily laborious and, yeah, I mean, bade bartan, badi handiyan, so on and so forth. Till now, the kitchens are all mechanized, it's not as tough. And I think that just started this whole chain, ke yaar, this is like pehlwani wala kaam, let these guys handle it. And the women were smart enough to say, I'm not interested in this. Also, it was more about organizing than cooking. The real cooking still happens at home, right? All these guys who are chefs eventually go back to home food, home cooking, and say, okay, yeah, I wish I could cook like my mom. But that's breaking. I think, shuru se hum logon ne Maharaj bhi, it's not just chefs. We've seen Maharajas to be men. Before that, in all folklore, fables, we've seen these badi handiyon ke samne log Bhim being a cook in Agyatwas. So that basically was just because of the nature of the work at that point in time, it just became associated to a certain gender. We're breaking it now. A lot of fantastic female chefs out there.
My questions will never end, so we'll go to the audience. Yeah.
There.
Where's the microphone? Okay, we'll start from him and then we'll take your question.
My name is Devashish, and this question actually is on behalf of my daughter. I'm not sure she'll ask this question, so I'm just asking you on her behalf. And whenever we've seen you in MasterChef or even here, we always see you first smell. What is so particular and why first smell?
इसका आंसर पता है आज मेरे को आज सुबह ही मिला है मतलब he's not here. So I saw them take the prasadam in the temple all wrapped around. They had their faces covered, nose covered. तो मैंने कहा ये प्रसाद ऐसे क्यों लेके जा रहे हैं? बोल रहे नहीं, in Odisha we believe if you've smelled it, you have half eaten it. तो भगवान को भोग लगाते टाइम सूंघते भी नहीं है. So that is why you smell food, because the first interaction with food, even before you taste it, you get a fair amount of idea of what you're going to taste and where it is going to go. So वो smelling is half eating वाला fundamental. Answer मेरे को आज मिल गया, उसका बड़ा अच्छा term था. मैं उससे आग्रहण है अर्ध भोजन. That is the answer. ये मेरे को लिख के दो. I'll just put it as an Instagram post saying, stop asking me this, I got the answer.
Can you please pass the mic? The table in the center.
ये ले ले ये ले.
Hello.
There are two things we Indians always do, we realized. One, even if the elevator button's pressed, we have to go and press it. Right? And the second is every time we get a mic, we have to do this.
Okay, yeah.
Hello.
Hi, first of all, I'm your biggest fan here. Like everybody else can just argue with the beautiful walls here. Secondly, I had a lot of questions in my head. I forgot them all. So I'll just ask one simple question. That is, I was recently thinking of shifting to induction like cooktops from the traditional gas ones. So do you think there is any difference in the taste we get when we cook in the induction than when we cook in the cooktop, that is gas?
I honestly, I don't know if I endorse an induction brand, but we'll figure that bit out later. But I prefer cooking on gas because I just feel I'm more in control.
Yeah, because we
also,
get to...
when you take your pan off the induction, it just doesn't heat up anymore. So as chefs, we're used to taking our pan up a little bit from the gas, working, and the cooking doesn't stop. In this case, the cooking stops because the induction stops. The moment you lift it off the induction. So if you're used to cooking, you know, with थोड़ा सा पैन उठा लिया, थोड़ा चेक कर लिया, उस तरह के खाने के लिए induction is not ideal. Induction is more ideal for when you have to just leave it, let it cook slowly for a longer period of time.
Yeah, just one more thing. That is, I watch all your videos, though I cannot make 70% of them because I'm vegan. So I would just request you to try on some vegan dishes in your channel. Would you?
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
इतना तो मेरी घरवाली नहीं शर्माई थी शादी पे.
We have a young girl. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I am young. So, yeah, I wanted to ask you now, since we're talking about marketing the humble Odia cuisine, and Odia cuisine has a lot of dishes, like almost every vegetable or flower you can see, there's a dish in Odisha. So when you think about Punjabi cuisine, there's butter masala, or Hyderabad, you relate with biryani. So what do you think Odia cuisine should start with, which is more palatable and acceptable to the audience at large?
I think for me, just the whole idea of that chutney on the side. You call it the khatta, which is the little mitha. That whole condiment, the whole condiment space is so beautiful in this. मतलब मेरे दिमाग में इतने business ideas आ गए 2 दिन में कि मैं तो अपनी दुकान खोलने वाला जाके. Right? It is just the chutney space that you so beautifully capture, this whole khatta meetha chutney space in so many ways. I think that is something that can be spoken about. Also, what did the Koreans have? The Koreans had the congee and they just took it to the world. And you have the pakhala, which is the mother of all congees.
Thank you.
Welcome. उसको दे दो यार.
Seems like-
दो चुटिया करके आई है.
Seems you haven't gotten over the ambula right till now.
Hello.
Hello,
What's your name?
Arusha.
Usha. Arusha.
Arusha. I'm your biggest fan. I need a selfie with you.
Okay, come running. Get your mom's phone. Come, Arusha, come.
Can we have the next question, please?
हेलो
Okay.
सर हेलो सर नमस्ते सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि
Can you please take the mic a little closer?
नमस्ते सर मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि बीइंग ए शेफ आपका सीक्रेट हमसे क्या शेयर करना चाहते हैं कि बीइंग मोटिवेटेड डे टू डे लाइफ कभी कभी क्या होता है कि ये तो कर्मा है कि हमको करना है कभी होता है कि नहीं आज नहीं करना मूड नहीं है फिर इसको कैसे डेली टू डेली लाइफ में मोटिवेट कैसे हम आपका सीक्रेट हमें शेयर कर सकते हैं
मेरा सीक्रेट मैं आई हैव माय बैड डेज आई हैव माय गुड डेज तो ऐसा नहीं है as long as the number of good days is more than bad days the life is good but other than that I think one thing that has worked for me is I have a very strong belief in food.
Okay.
I wake up every day with a very strong belief that food will change my life.
Okay.
That is all.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, you've been a wonderful audience. I know there are many more questions, but I've just been informed by the organizers that I will need to wrap up the session. So thank you so very much, and thank you, Chef, for being so honest and being so genuine and just being so sweet.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I had a lot of fun. I hope we... अच्छा उनको दे दो मैम को. मैम आप पूछ लो please. बहुत ही धमाकेदार होना चाहिए क्वेश्चन सब लोग वेट कर रहे हैं
Jai Jagannath, Ranveer. A great fan of yours, like everybody else in this hall. And since you've come to Odisha, and as you know, that we are driven by Lord Jagannath, right? What would you take from here? I mean, take this cuisine forward, because you've already done pakhada, you've done mudi manso, you've done chena podo. Lord Jagannath has at least 56 types of cuisines every day, right? And as a Odia, as a foodie, and let me introduce myself, I run a very small eco resort with a small restaurant, and I always refer to you. So this time, I'm asking you, which food and what are the cuisines which you would like to take forward and promote from Odisha?
देखिए एक तो मैंने आपको बता दिया the whole idea of this amazing chutney space, right? I just had this most amazing use of mango ginger I ever had in my life.
Yes.
आज
That's a beautiful thing.
Ambularai. I think that. But other than that, the other thing that I'm going to take back and talk about a lot more is this dahi chena that you guys do.
Yes.
I think it's the most innovative way to use something that is considered leftover in a lot of world.
Right.
You know, I think, yeah. अभी आज के तो दो यही हैं.
When will you sing Ambularai at your new Dubai restaurant?
Thank you so much, Jai Jagannath.
Thank you for your question, ma'am. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Mr. Ranveer Brar and Ms. Tanaya Patnaik for such a fantastic conversation that they were indulged in. And now that we have Ms. Patnaik on the stage, can I please request Ms. Preeti Pallavi Patnaik to also join us on the stage so that we could extend a small token of love and felicitation from ICC in Beck. May I kindly request the founders of EASTEYE to please join us on the stage. INVEC would also like to felicitate the three of you. I'll request Mr. Chandan Ratha, Ms. Sashwati Patnaik, and Dr. Upashna. Please put your hands together for the three dynamic founders of EASTEYE. INVEC would also like to extend a small token of appreciation and a lot of good wishes to the founders for finally making EASTEYE Food Conclave 2024 absolutely a happening affair.
I think, yeah, I haven't said enough for the organizers here. It's very important. What I've realized over a period of time is creating a fraternity, bringing food people together is a very, very important part of taking any cuisine forward. You know, a collective voice is always better heard, and it always goes longer and further. And I'm so glad that initiatives like this put that collective voice forward, or at least help in creating that collective voice. That's it's a great, fantastic initiative. Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you so much. And now I'll request all of you to please be seated. But Mr. Brar, we have a few felicitations to be done by you. So I'll request Mr. Harsh from Freedom Oil, our presenting sponsor. Can we please have Mr. Harsh joining us on the stage? I'll request all of you to please put a huge round of applause for Freedom Oil for being a fantastic presenting sponsor. What amazing support. We also have Mr. Amir Dhal along with Mr. Harsh. They're joining Mr. Ranveer Brar on the stage. I'll request Mr. Ranveer to please extend a token of support and love. Thank you so much. We'd like to extend our heartiest wishes to the team of Freedom Oil. Thank you so much for your contribution to making EASTEYE Food Conclave 2024 possible. And now moving on to a dynamic personality who made sure everything today was seamless, starting from hospitality to service to management. I'd like to request and welcome General Manager of the Crown IHCL Selections, Mr. Jalpreet Sodhi, to please join us on the stage. Zordar Taliyon ke beech, I'll request Mr. Sodhi to please join us on the stage. Okay, I'm sure he's around. It'll just take him a while to join us on the stage. Meanwhile, I'd like to request Ms. Sonal Sahu, Director, Life Hotels, Bhubaneswar, to please join us on the stage. Taliyan zordar honi chahiye. Just so you know, Mr. Ranveer, we had a fiery session where we had 3 women entrepreneurs and 1 amazing moderator who also happens to be an entrepreneur. Ms. Sonal was on the panel, and I think it was the fieriest session for the day. I'd like to request Mr. Brar to please extend a small token of appreciation from our side. Thank you so much. And next, can we please have Ms. Preeti Pallavi Patnaik, Managing Director, Tushy Motors, Founder, Reform, and Co-Founder, KDF, to please join us on the stage. Zordar Taliyon ke saath, I'll request all of you to please welcome Ms. Preeti Pallavi Patnaik on the stage once again. Thank you so much. And now moving on, it's time to invite the third entrepreneur on the session that we were just talking about, Ms. Rashmi Sahu, Director, Om Oil and Flour Mills, and Founder, Frozit and Farm Bee. May I kindly request Ms. Rashmi Sahu to join us on the stage? There she is. Zordar तालियों के लिए request करना चाहूँगी आप सबको for the amount of positivity, great energy, and enthusiasm they bring into every single event that they attend. And thank you so much for your grace that you carried throughout the event. I'd like to request Mr. Ranveer to kindly extend a small token of thanks to Ms. Sahu. Thank you so much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, somebody we all love and adore absolutely, जिनका खाना अभी तो पूरे दुनिया में सबको बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद है. Somebody we absolutely. Mr. Sodhi is here. I'll request all of you to please give Mr. Jalpreet Sodhi a huge round of applause. General Manager, the Crown IHCL Selections. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर, आपकी सपोर्ट के बिना ये पॉसिबल नहीं होता. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. And now coming back to who we're talking about, it's time to invite everybody's favorite and somebody that everybody adores here. She did quite a fun question and answer round for us in the first half. Can we please have Ms. Saroja Chaudhary, Founder, Rosie's Kitchen, who has been creating ripples with the authenticity of the Odia cuisines. I'll request all of you to please give her a huge round of applause. She's been carrying the same energy and enthusiasm she walked in this morning with. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to call our gifting partners on the stage together. I'd like to request Mr. Mahabir Biswal from Odisha Beverages, Ms. Banita Dash from Bhavya Creations, Mr. Atish Sahu, Managing Director, Genext Events, Mr. Biswajit Rautrai, Doons International School, and our representative from Anjali Stores to kindly join us on the stage. I'll request Mr. Ranveer to extend all of them a token of appreciation, and I'd like to genuinely thank them for their support. The gifting partners have been very generous and creative, and Mr. Atish Sahu, MD Genext Events, has made sure that this event has been running pretty smooth and seamless. Thank you so much. And now can I please request Ms. Sashwati Patnaik to join us on the stage for a few words.
Thank you so much, everyone. Mu Odia re kahibi. Chef, is it allowed to speak in Odia here? Yes. Kala re utkarsha thiba jogu amku utkala kuhaja ama rajya ku. Sei kala bhitre gote kala hela am khadyar kala. Au sei khadyar kala jogu ame khali am desha nuhe समग्र विश्व दरबार रे आम खाद्य को गोटे श्रेष्ठ जगह स्थान दबा पई आम फूड कॉन्क्लेव रो गोटे प्रयास आउ से प्रयास रो अंतिम पर्याय रे आसी के आमी पहुंचीछु किंतु अंतिम तो कहबिनी एटा हला हमर आरंभ दिस इज द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट आमे एठो आरंभ करूछे आगामी बहु एमिति फूड कॉन्क्लेव एमिति बहुत किछि करिवा हमर ओडिया खाद्य को नै कि जहा कि खाली आमे ता पे गर्वित न पूरा देश आम ओडिया खाद्य पाई गर्वित अनुभव करिवो तेणु समस्त को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आज आमर शेफ मिस्टर रणवीर ब्रार आमर अविनाश नायक जो माने एते बड़ बड़ शेफ है कि आमको सिखाई गले जे किपरि भाबरे आमे आम खाद्य को नै गर्व अनुभव करिवा धन्यवाद एबे मु आमर अनदर फाउंडर जी अछंती रथ चंदन रथ को इनवाइट करिवि आसीबे टिके वोट ऑफ थैंक्स कहिबे थैंक यू
Good evening. Jai Jagannath. Hope you all had a great conclave. I would like to thank each and everyone who has joined for this initiative. And as we draw the end of this event, and so this initiative would have taken without your attendance, without your support, without any of those who have been a part of this event, last so many months. I would like to thank you each and everyone. I would like to thank you the attendees. I would like to thank you the guests. I would like to thank you the sponsors. So without this would not be a success. And I would like to thank you, and I would like to express my sincere appreciation for the esteemed sponsors, unwavering support of the commitment and instrumental bringing this vision and mission in a global and international standard. We're looking forward for the next season. We need your support. We need a complete enthusiasm for this as like season 1, and we are looking forward for the continuous of bringing Odia food in the mainstream. This is our mission, and this will remain there until unless we've been listed in the Global Food Conclave. Thank you so much. Jai Jagannath.
Thank you so much. We are pretty much done here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll request all of you to please give Mr. Ranveer Brar a huge round of applause. And with this, I'd like to declare the first EASTEYE Food Conclave 2024 a tremendous success, and we dedicate this success to all of you. Thank you so much for your incredible support. And now I'd like to request all of you to please queue up for the photo opportunity. We'll just be open for 5 to 10 minutes. So I'll request all of you to kindly be patient and bear with us. We have very less time, and I'll request all of you to kindly cooperate with the security personnel. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt. So we've done this a lot of times. It's just if everybody cooperates, we come from here and we go out from there. Somebody's going to be clicking a picture and we can take it. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. We'll just get all the pictures done.
Thank you so much. आउथरे आपण समस्त को कहि देबा को चाहिबी पिक्चर्स पई आपण माने स्टेज रे लेफ्ट रो आसीबे पिक्चर्स क्लिक करिकी राइट रो ले जिबे. We will keep it very simple and slow and disciplined. So I'll request all of you to kindly cooperate with us. Thank you. Check. I'll request all the INVEC members to kindly queue up in front of the stage. I'll request all the INVEC members to kindly queue up in front of the stage, please. We'll do a group photograph for the INVEC members before we move on for the individual photographs. I'm clicking. I'll request the INVEC members to kindly pose for a group picture. This will be quick. We'll quickly be done with this. And there are so many others waiting. I'll request all of you to kindly be a little quick with this. Big smile, ladies. Thank you. Thank you. Check. I'd request the INVEC members to kindly vacate the stage. It's a kind request to the INVEC members to please vacate the stage. Check.